Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this. It is iRace4Laura, the Indy All Star Race. In 1 week's time, right about now, we're kicking off the 7th annual iRacing Indianapolis 500. But today, we race for a cause to raise money for LSR TV's founder, Laura Lawson, who is currently suffering with cancer. We'll talk about that one over the course of this broadcast. We're going 500 miles, 200 laps at the greatest racetrack in the world, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we on Racesport TV and iRacing Live start next. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to iRace4Laura here on Racesport TV, streaming live on iRacing Live, a benefit race with Laura Lawson, the founder of LSR TV, as we go to the greatest racetrack in the world. It is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Qualifying is already underway. Will Vincent here, Aaron Likens, Rachel Whiteford. Aaron, it's the month of May.
Oh, it is the month of May, and what a month it's going to be. Well, for the 100th running, tickets for the grandstand sold out. So, 100th running, all eyes Carb Day this year. I've heard estimates that may reach 6 figures. So, this month of May is going to be a month to remember, but we're going to kick it off here today. It's going to be awesome.
Yep, we've already had ourselves one Indy 500 on Racesport TV in this month of May. That was exciting to watch, and well, Rachel, we've got 2 more still to go. This one is going to be very interesting, and of course, it's for a fantastic cause.
Yeah, absolutely is. Well, Laura Lawson has been a huge asset to the iRacing community, one of the best broadcasters out there, and, you know, this is a hard time for her, hard time for her family. This is the iRacing community coming together as one to benefit a greater cause, and this is why I love the iRacing community.
Yeah, we'll talk more about Laura. In fact, we've got Laura here. We'll talk to her over the course of this broadcast. Qualifying is going on right about now. There you can see a couple of drivers are qualifying. We've got ourselves 20 drivers then. They are all doing their thing. Brandon Traynor, top of the qualification stands right now. Rachel, really we expect Traynor to be up front. We expect De Jong to be out front. So these two guys, yep, they're very close. 11 one-thousandths of a second and 100 seconds of qualifying to go.
Yeah, it certainly is, and well, we know this is a fixed setup race, so everyone's on equal footing. It's going to be a great fun race, a very close race. We're expecting guys like Traynor and De Jong, they're meant to be at the front, we expect that. But it's a good field, we've got some big names here from the IndyCar community. Expect to see most of these guys in that top split broadcast in the iRacing official Indy 500. These are some of the superstars of IndyCar and iRacing. It's going to be an awesome one to watch today.
Yeah, on board with the broken arrow machine there of Ryan Norton in the number 84 machine. And what, Aaron, there's a reason why this is a fixed setup race, because of course next week we do the big dance. That is the 7th annual iRacing Indy 500. And well, everyone's like, well, we don't want to show our hand too early. Fixed race. Hey, you're just racing here today.
And that's going to be an interesting dynamic because a lot of these drivers are used to the in-car adjustments, being able to adjust for the dirty air. So I guess we don't get to do our typical Scott Goodyear explanation of the... Oh, I know. I'm sorry, Will. But that's going to be an interesting dynamic because a lot of these drivers are used to those setups. Secondly, fuel. I know the last 2 races we have done, Will, have come down to lap 200 and cars running out of fuel. Next week, they'll be able to tone it down. This week, they're going to be set. So saving fuel, the only way you can do it is by letting off the right foot. So going to be some interesting dynamics with everybody being level pegging, and qualifying times are showing that.
Oh, yeah, indeed. And you can see now it's a broken arrow front row on the grid here. Ran the trainer by 1/100th of a second over Ryan Norton. Michael de Jong in 3rd place. 1/100th of a second back from Ryan Norton. And of course, we're talking about fuel. Hey, if you missed the last round of the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series that took place just a couple of hours ago, you need to check it out. Qualifying is done. Here's your qualifying results then, here on Racesport TV, as you will see that your grid is as follows. Row number 1, Treno for Broken Arrow. Ryan Norton for Broken Arrow. Michael de Jong, P3. Andrew Kinsella in P number 4. We cycle it on back. Rachel, we've got ourselves a number of guys here equally as fast as each other, and we've got ourselves the top 10 drivers separated by less than 1/2 of a tenth of a second.
Yeah, they certainly are. It's going to be an incredibly tight race. Expect close, fast, fair racing here. These guys know this is for a good cause. They know that being part of this is more important, and well, these cars will be very close. But we do know with the fixed setup, this is not the iRacing default one, of course. This is a custom set which is set as the fixed. Quite low downforce on this one, so expect aero management to be a huge factor in this race.
Indeed, so they can see 200 laps then. Track temperature as well, pretty average, 78 degrees on track, 55% race relative humidity. It is 3 km/h wind to the north. So, you ready for this one, Aaron?
I am, and the weather conditions, you did mention the, well, 3 kilometers or 2 miles an hour, as we would say here in America, but 2 winds, 2 miles an hour out of the north, not really going to affect the cars, and the humidity is relatively low, so when we do get cooler temperatures and higher humidity, you see the draft play a bigger effect, but we're not going to see it like we have seen it in previous races, but with the slow downforce, might not be as important.
There's a look then. You can see the pagoda now on the left-hand side of your screen. And actually, Aaron, the 100th running of the Indianapolis 500 takes place in 2 weeks tomorrow. Of course, you'll be there. I'll be there. That pagoda will be full. The stands will be full. We are looking at 300,000 people in 2 weeks' time.
Perhaps pushing 350. Of course, Kurt Cavan of the Indy Star did a count in 2005 where it was like 257,000 and change seats, but the infield's going to be packed. This is going to be perhaps the biggest party in Indianapolis for decades. Hopefully it builds. Hopefully the 101st is bigger than the 100th, but, oh, I mean, just to think back when the track was built in 1909, if they could have even envisioned that the race would be doing its 100th installment, let alone hundreds of thousands of people from all around the world visiting.
Yep, and you want to know one thing? It's not just going to be casual fans on the infield. It's going to be people, real race fans as well. People like me, for example, that's going to be on the infield for this one. I ain't got a ticket to the grandstands. I'm going to be on the field as well. Here's your field then. Cycle themselves through turn number 1, through the north end of the racetrack, through turn number 2. So, this is Indy. It's a track that we know, it's a track we love. Here's Dave Jenks on board of him in the Broken Arrow machine. We've got on board also Christopher DeMeritt, they can see him in the 144 machine. We've got ourselves Christian Steele in the number 78 machine. Andrew Kinsella in the number 14 machine, starting P number 4. And Randy Cosno as well in the number 10 car here in this event. 200 laps, 500 miles, 800 corners. That's what separates one of these guys from Victory Road and the Virtual Milk from being second and being forgotten. But this is today for a good cause as well. Raising money to support one of iRacing's own, Laura Lawson, who has been an integral part of the iRacing community over the last 5 years. The pace car is going to head itself through turn number 4. Gonna head itself down towards pit road. Hey, the pace car's for a good cause. This race is for a good cause as well. The field is in the command of Brandon Trainer, Ryan Norton alongside him. We expect Broken Arrow to work together in the early stages of this motor race. Want to know what the other guys in this field can do as well. Pace car, down towards pit road. Indy, 500 miles. Let's get the show on the road. Green flag in the air. Norton tucking immediately behind Traino as they come down in towards one for the first time.
Oh, well, Norton got onto the flat in turn 1. Just about put it into the wall. Got very loose. You don't want to do that on lap 1, but he's going to be going for the lead on the outside.
Round the outside there. Norton wants to lead this motor race round the outside and towards turn number 3, Rachel. We know lead changes could be a big factor here. Working his own teammate. Well, you get yourself a bit of a leeway there, but Norton couldn't work the outside line just yet.
No, tyres really went up to temperature yet. Well, I don't think he had quite the run he needed there, but they're all doing the draft-breaking inside line run already on lap 1. Everyone going back to the outside. Oh, Norton has the outside line for 1. Not going to drop back in line here. Of course, as you all know, turn 1 is facing directly into the north, so that 2-mile-an-hour wind will mean... Oh, no, it's actually... Yes, so it means that mile-an-hour wind will mean a 2-miles-an-hour overspeed entering that corner, which always makes it the trickiest one.
Indeed, so behind, we've got Andrew Gonzalez versus Miguel de Jong. Side by side, through turn number 3 they come. You know one thing actually, Aaron, that paint scheme looks very similar to my one in the number 14 machine.
And Kinsella got very high in turn 3, lost the position to Troy Eddy, and Troy Eddy very competent in anything that's fixed, so he may be running just inside the top 5, moved up to 4th that lap, but come lap 200, he is going to be a threat.
Yeah, there you can see Troy Eddy running himself in P number 4 right now. Miguel de Jong running himself in P number 3 as he comes down the back straight away once again. Lap number 3 of 200.
We got trouble off of 2, Will. Trouble off of 2.
This could be a caution then. Our first caution of the day. Indeed it is. It's Pierre Bourdon and Dave Jinks then. So you can see the electric machine of Pierre Bourdon. And you also have yourself Dave Jinks. Matt Pavelski looks like he's going to be out on this motor race as well. Replay up in your screens. And Rachel, early cautions, always a thing here at Indy.
Yeah, they certainly are, Will. It's unfortunate it was the 92 car of Bourdon hit there by the 76 Dave Jinks. Jinks got into the wall off 2. Just got a little hot on that exit of the corner. Bounces off the wall, comes back across the track to the infield, and just unfortunate there, Pierre Bourdon was on his inside, got collected. So, an innocent victim, 2 cars well and truly out of this one, unfortunately.
Replay on board of Pierre Bourdon on the 92 machine. This is real time. Let's listen in. That was nothing to do with Pierre Bourdon at all there. Out of the race were a victim or someone else's circumstances. And what, Aaron, caution number 1, we expect no one on towards pit road.
Expect no one. I ran the fuel numbers. I'm estimating around 40 laps or so. I calculate about 0.44 fuel burn. So we're looking at about 40 to 44 laps. So although, well, in every one of these races, it's never too early to start thinking about strategy, to think about fuel. So if I'm running in the last 5 positions, why not pit here? Anybody in the top 10, track position is paramount, but if you're in the back, come in and pit. Let's see if anybody does take a gamble up front.
Yo, they're dancing, they're thinking, but no. They'll stay as they are. We'll go away for a second and we'll be back with more after these messages. Somewhere your field coming on towards pit road. We'll see it on Racebot TV, side by side. So, one caution almost in the books there. They can see the field working itself through turn number 2. Down onto the back straight. Well, once again, 6 of 200 laps scored to complete here. Our first caution today. And it's in between Dave Jenks and Pierre Bourdon. We expect this to be a fast race overall. But we are expecting a lot of battling to go on. So far, we've had ourselves no lead changes. But the 2 broken arrow guys out front, they look like they want to scrap. We're going to go on board then. For those 3 start, the guy in P number 2. It is the broken arrow machine of Ryan Norton in that number 84 machine. They can see behind him, single file restart. What we want to focus on here, Aaron, is what happens on this restart. Will it be coordinated, or will it be trainer saying, hey, I want the race lead, fight me?
On the initial start, definitely it looked like there was a little bit of teamwork, as you'd much see in the NASCAR series when a teammate lets them in. There was definitely a bit of that, but let's see if they get this coordinated. Here we go, Will.
There you can see, picking up the pace almost simultaneously there, those 2 drivers. Green flag back in the air. 6 of 200 laps scored complete. Rachel back down into 1. They can't once again.
Yeah, absolutely. Straight into turn 1 on the restart. Single file this time, of course, and it's a good start by Treno and Norton. Young following quickly in their shoes as he comes through as well. Bit of a bunch up with Troy Eddy, Andrew Kinsella, and Christopher Demerit there running P. 4, 5, and 6, Will. Those 3 cars running together. And Michelle de Jong not quite changing lane yet to follow Norton Trainer, who are, the teammate is set to battle each other, it seems.
Yeah, Bradley Waters moves up 1 position ahead of Jeff Drake there. That's the battle for P. Number 8 on this racing circuit. 2.5 miles is this racetrack. And while Kinsella there versus Christopher Demerit, let's go on board then with Kinsella because he's right there behind. In towards 1, Aaron.
And to the outside, he goes, and not going to get it done that time, but I have to do a little bit of housekeeping. I said the fuel window was 45 laps. It's actually 35 laps, so we're going to have a battle for second here as Dion goes to the inside, but magic mark as we look ahead is going to be lap 165. Long ways to go, though.
It is a very long way to go, and of course, you always build backwards, Rachel, at this race. You always want to make sure that you can pit after the 165. You don't have to do that additional pit stop. But though, Troy Eddy now close behind Ryan Norton. Norton's lost P2. Looking as though he could almost lose P3 here. Michael de Jong, fastest lap on the motorway so far.
It's a great run by him so far as he gets up to second place, you just said. Ryan Norton dropping back a little bit at the moment as he just seems to be getting caught now by Troy Eddy there. That Norton car struggling well in these early laps.
Yep, so they can see Eddie in the number 39 machine. He gets off the gas. So actually he allows Norton to stay in P number 3. These 2 drivers are teammates, of course, Aaron. So they're playing fair along with the guy Christopher Demerit behind them. You've got 4 broken arrow machines in the top 5 for this motor race so far.
And when it comes to passing, turn 3 is my favorite spot on this track. That has the, supposedly these corners are identical, but any driver that's turned a lap around here will beg to differ on that. Turn 3 is a lot more forgiving than turn 1, but Troy Eddy, had he attempted to make a pass there, he probably would have had to have lifted later on, and you have to time your passes perfectly, because if you do attempt to pass and have to back out of it, well, that would have allowed Demerit, Steele, and even maybe Kinsella. It is very easy to get freight trained here, so very heads up by Eddy.
Behind, you got yourself Marco Aurelio Bazile there. You can see him in the number 812 machine. Vortex in racing car. Hunting down Scott W. Smith here. And well, Rachel, of the 20 guys that started, 18 running on the lead lap. 1 driver out, and that, of course, is Dave Jenks.
Yes, of course, we did lose Dave Jenks in an incident we had a few minutes ago. That was our first caution. Himself and Pierre Bourdon had that coming together. Of course, Jenks at the wall. Pierre Bourdon running on track still. Some damage in his side pod, but that car is, well, they had a front wing change, rear wing change, and he's running still off the pace a little bit, but he's still there with Brad Sanford. They're not completely out of position yet, but not looking like he'll win the race this so far. Maybe his team can work on it in the next stop.
The underarm machine now, Scott W. Smith, then Aaron on towards pit road. Well, passing before the green flag.
Perhaps the car looks like the rear end might be a little higher than the front, so perhaps some contact with the wall. I would have thought he would have had to have served his penalty beforehand, and yes, coming off of turn 2, got into the wall, and I think the right rear suspension is toast on that car.
Yeah, so they can see Sterling Smith on towards pit road. Let's see. Is this going to be a long pit stop for him? Was it? Let's have a look. It's going to be a slightly long one, actually. He's on towards pit road. Out front, your battle is still going on. Although Treno, 1 second advantage now, Aaron, over Mikel de Jong. That is almost, hey, I want to break the draft range.
And when it comes to a fixed race, leads, typically, you don't see leads get to the breaking the draft range. Maybe right on the cusp, but you typically see the field a lot closer. So this is showing just the skill level that Brandon Treno has. But again, very long race. If you want to win this race, and well, the past 2 races we've done here have had both over 140 lap green flag runs. If you want to win this race, you are going to have to be perfect. So even if you're 1-2 seconds behind, you can make that up coming into the pits. And oh well, we can't forget about that diabolical bump coming out of the pits, rejoining the track on the apron.
Yep. And of course, this motor race, the Indy 500, is one where dreams are made and dreams are also shattered. And Rachel, one thing these guys don't have to contend with here today is anti-roll bars and weight jackers.
Yeah, they certainly don't. Well, of course, fixed setup racing means a lot of these tools are not available to these drivers. They don't have control over their fuel map, but they are constantly running in the highest fuel burn mode, so we know fuel saving will have to come from that right foot. You want to save fuel? You got to lift off the throttle. Of course, no roll bars, no weight jackers. They can't make adjustments. They're going to have to do that with, again, their foot. If anything, this is more akin to almost the origins of IndyCar. You don't have all these newfangled tools and adjustments to beat the race car at the track. You have to do it yourself. You have to drive this place, and Indy is unforgiving. As Aaron said a moment ago, yeah, theoretically these corners are all identical. And as he said, yeah, anyone who's driven here will know that is not true. Turn 1 feels like it's the tightest corner. Turn 2 feels very loose. 3 is fast. 4 feels long. It's a very misleading racetrack. It has a spirit to it. It's far, far bigger than just the bricks and just the asphalt.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get then and listen in to this fantastic racetrack. This is Racebot TV, loud and live. Oh, Aaron, there's some beautiful sights here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're only 18 out of 200 laps scored complete, but still, these guys are doing it fast right now.
I am absolutely amazed that Treno is 0.13 of a second faster than de Jong. Now, one thing with this setup, when you are in dirty air, it does cook the tires. I mean, it is brutal on the tires, especially without the adjustment. So de Jong may have used up his right front just a little bit trying to get around Norton, and Treno has had clean air the entire race, but still 0.13 of a second consistently faster. So Treno right now is just steaming along.
Demario on board with him right now, but he has the fastest lap of this motor race. 223.12 miles an hour. But Rachel, if you're De Jong right now, you're okay in this position. 1.2 back.
Caution's out.
Oh, second caution of the day here today. Rachel, talk us through it.
I'm going to find out exactly what happened for you right
Kinsella.
now. It's Kinsella, Andrew Kinsella with a problem there. We believe, this is probably, yes, coming out of turn number 3. Well, as you'll see there on the broadcast, clips the wall, tips the car infield, off the inside wall, rolling across the grass onto the access road and back up into turn 4. And then he has contact as well. I believe that is with the number 41 car, HMB car, Niall McBride, who seems to have, I think, gotten away with that.
There's Niall McBride. Let's have a look on board of him there. He's heading himself through turn number 3, and you'll see just ahead of him there is an incident involving, and at that point you've always got yourself a couple of decisions: left, right, slow, fast. What do you do? And well, you can see the car flipping in the air in front of him. Well, for Niall McBride, that is a close call indeed. And oh my word, Aaron, look at that.
Yeah, spotter obviously might have been looking towards turn 1, but evasion there, not the it could have gone a little bit better. Lap 20, well, I think we're going to see everybody come down pit road.
Yep, there we can see them there. 20 out of 200, 1/10 race distance score complete. And here we are then. Brandon Trainer leads the field in towards pit road. Question is, Aaron, if you want to leave drivers, less fuel, go for it. Be risky.
I'd work it backwards. Whatever lap can get me. If you're running in the top 5, you can pit here and stay on the lead lap. So, yeah, I'd say definitely risk it. Short fill to the point that gets you working back from 167 to 124. Keep going backwards. However much fuel I need to hit that window.
Well, there you can see then. We're just going to hopefully get our cameras working. And actually, Traino will get it out. And we've got one driver who stayed out on track. That is Marco Brazil there. Unless he wants to be at the root of the field. He actually, Rachel, only has 10 laps worth of fuel. So this is a bad call by Marco.
It could be, but with the field bunched up, I think inside 10 laps he'll be able to pit and stay on the lead lap long enough that he will probably come out on strategy. I think he's running to his original 32, 33-ish lap fuel run. And that's his plan, to basically keep that car running. But I think he will get mugged on fresh tyres, unfortunately, which means he should be at the back of the pack by 10 laps when he comes in. So it's a brave call. Not sure it's the right one, but it'll be interesting to see.
He did pit under that first yellow. He was our first car to pit, which if you are going to do that split strategy, if not many people do it, what you're going to want to do is sort of back off from the pack, because if you're expecting a yellow and you're in a different strategy, there's no reason to burn up your tires racing cars on a different strategy. So we'll see if he has a little bit of, well, not necessarily fuel in the tank, but a little bit more rubber on the tires than had he been in the pack.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully in about 5 seconds time or so, we're going to try and get ourselves a word with Laura Lawson, of course, who is the founder of LSR TV, who, of course, we are raising money for here today. Laura, welcome to Racesport TV once again.
Hey, Will.
Well, it's easy for me to try and make the story for you, but it's better if we hear it from your own mouth. Talk us through the situation you've been in the last couple of months.
Oh, Lordy, I don't want to bring everybody down, but basically, sometime in December, I was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Okay, so, of course, you've been diagnosed, and, of course, you've been in a weird situation as well, because you've had yourself medical bills to pay for, insurance, university, all to do at the same time. Talk us through the difficulties of trying to merge education with life and broadcasting.
Oh, it's been kind of interesting. It's a hell of a juggle, heck of a juggle, sorry.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, we're back in the back anyway right now, so what we're going to do, we're going to get back to green flag racing. We'll talk to you once we get back to green, because it is Marco Brazil who leads this motor race. He should be swamped under this green flag conditions, because he has been on tyres which are about 15 laps longer than the rest of the field. We currently have ourselves a total of 15 drivers on the lead lap. So we expect a long green flag run right now. Brazil leads the race, Trainer in second, Norton in third, Troy Eddy in fourth, Christopher Merritt in P number 5. We expect the Broken Arrow guys to work together here to try and get themselves back to the front of the field. Mikel de Jong is in P number 7. Majid Wanif, of course, he's a former Indy 500 winner here on Racesport TV. He runs himself in P number 8. But what's going to happen? Well, we're going to find out. Let's go then. Get ourselves on Racesport TV. Sound immersion. Green flag. Back in the air now.
Oh, crash.
Eddie into the
Oh, my word.
That started with Trey Eddy, actually, well, I believe. If we can show this one back, I think it's still going on, though. But Eddie put the power down, and that car just turned to the right. Oh, no contact.
He got help.
It was help from behind.
Demerit.
That was Demerit, yeah. Demerit accelerated, hit his back bumper, turned him right, and that caused a huge thing we just saw. I'm not sure what that was.
Next to a teammate, am I right, Aaron?
Very much could be, but oh man, restarts here single file. When you expect the leader to go, you can get the accordion effect. You can get the accordion effect, and very quickly, trouble.
Oh, they can see Trey Eddy there. He's turned around.
And, you're right, no yellow.
We stay green, and also you see that number 66 machine involved in that one as well. You see Christopher Demerit. He was like a big picks for this race here. Should we relive that one on board then, Aaron, with Christopher Demerit? Because his race is pretty much done now.
Yeah, it is done, and not the way you want to go out on lap 22, 23, but the tricky thing here is if the car in front of you goes, you go with him. But if he goes before the leader goes, he's going to have to slow down, and by the time you react, well, you're in the rear end of him, which is another reason why I often say on restarts, you want to line up off-center. Don't be right tucked up behind the wing. Be off-center so you can see the leader. Yeah, you may open up the outside, which you can't pass. When the green comes out, you can pass to the right, but as you can see, it's a lot better to get past on the right than it is to be out of this race.
Well, as you can see, out front is Marco Brazil leading the way, the captain himself, and P number 2 is 3 tenths of a second. And Rachel, it is worth noting that, of course, in this motor race, these guys have to keep themselves in those cleats. This ain't NASCAR. They can't bump and run here. And Demerit was my favourite for this motor race because he's so strong at Indy. But him is out of the race and Troy Eddy out of the race. That Broken Arrow stable is talking about now down to 2 drivers.
Yeah, they are, and I think the biggest problem here was we had a leader restarting on old tyres. I think this was caused by Marco Aurelio Brazil staying out because he accelerated, but no, it's not his fault at all. But when he accelerated, of course, he accelerated more slowly than second and third expected. They put their foot down and had to check up for him going, which checked up everybody. And one of those unfortunate circumstances of a car on slower tyres. His prerogative, his right, but everybody else needs to be a little bit more respectful and aware that they aren't going to be as quick off the blocks.
Yeah, then you can see then your top 8 going to come along the bottom of your screen right about now. Brazil leads then. He actually, Aaron, got himself a good start on the restart. He's still ahead by 1/3 of a second over Brandon Traino.
And you do have to wonder, you know, it is 500 miles, so yeah, the leader can start when he wants, but you have to wonder, why was everybody so tucked up behind everybody else's rear wing? We still had 7/8 of this race to go, so I just, restart incidents really boggle my mind. If we get late into the race, yeah, you're going to want it every position you can get, but this early, so much racing to go, sometimes it just baffles me.
Rachel Trainer there saving fuel behind Brazil. He doesn't want the race lead right now. He wants to save behind in P2. Potentially also had to help Norton come back into what will be then a 3-horse train. We have got, though, lap traffic behind your race leader. That is Mikel de Jong in the number 5 machine.
Yes, it is, Will, and it's going to be interesting to see what they can do with this and see how much fuel he can save. We know Marco Aurelio Brazil has to pit soon. In fact, there he goes. He's diving up pit road now. That's the fuel saving done. Lead will go to Brandon Trainer.
what is the point in doing that, Aaron? Because he's 28 laps into this motor race. He's only done 4 laps under green. He will now be at the rear of this field, potentially 1 lap down. I don't get it. I really don't.
Yeah, I'm puzzled by that move. Really puzzled by that move coming in there. He still had about 10 laps of fuel by my math, maybe even 15, but he pits. Treno back to the point.
Well, Treno said your 3rd race leader of the day. Out of towards pit road comes Marco Brazil. Got to be careful of that white line there. You can see he's holding it close to the inside line, so he won't get himself a penalty, but still. Oh, he was almost there. Run over Aaron. He got himself onto that grass just 1/10 of a second.
And that grass, very easy to get onto. You can really make up a lot of time here. We talk about pit entries at a lot of tracks. This track, pit exit, you can make up a lot of time on pit exit. You can also lose your race very quickly.
Rachel, 35 seconds behind your race leader right now on the lead lap, but now Marco wants more caution. With this field as it is right now, I don't think we'll get one for a few laps.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we'll get a guy or two get tight and perhaps run towards a wall later on, maybe another 10, 15, 20 laps, but as it stands, he didn't go long enough on that stint, so we know he had a penalty there. He had to pit, we believe it was black flag, but yeah, he's thrown his strategy out the window now. This is really a bad place for him to be in, but it's making this race interesting. It's going to be a good one. Of course, he's back in pit road again.
Well, we think it may well be a penalty there for Brazil. Just to let you know, by the way, Marnif has been on pit road as well. So they can see Marco Brazil on pit road. Not a good day for the Vortex.
No, he's retiring, Will. Retiring.
It's game over up there for that driver. You can see the brake ducts lighting up as he comes in towards pit road. Brandon Treno leads this motor race. It's going to be 32 laps with 200 score complete. We'll go side by side. We'll be back in just 1 moment's time. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to RaceBot TV. As it stands right now, we've got ourselves Brandon Trainer leading by 2 seconds over Ryan Norton. Laura Lawson's back. Hey, Laura.
Hey there.
So, talk us through a bit more, because we've got the tone now, about your treatment, everything that's been going on, and how the high racing community has been able to help you out over the past couple of months.
First, I gotta say thanks to the iRacing community because they've been amazing. They've helped raise over $4,500, and basically that's helped with some of the bill issues, dealing with the chemotherapy, the doctor visits, the medical scans, and all. And also they helped save the LSR TV brand. So I can't tell them enough times thank you. It's been amazing. Some of the money, it's gone to, I have to stay in school in order to keep insurance, and then I have to buy the insurance. So that's been a kind of a challenge for us there. But as far as the cancer treatments and all go, it basically comes down to straight up chemotherapy, and it was 8 months long is what it's going to end up being. I've got about 2 months left. The good news is when this started, the only thing they would tell me, Will, is I had a lot of cancer. And that's all they would say. It was in the bones, the lungs, lymph nodes, all that good stuff. But the good news is, the last scan they done, they can't see the cancer on just the scans alone. It's still there. Like I said, I've still got 2 more months to go in the chemo before they run another major test. But that's the good news.
It is indeed, and of course, for anyone that knows and has dealt with cancer in their life, they'll know that actually not being able to see anything is in some ways a good thing. But I remember the day that you put that post up on the LSR TV Facebook page, and the outpouring of emotion, and that's one of the great things about the iRacing community is that at times we argue, we shout, we moan, we cry, etc. But occasionally we do get together, and actually a lot of your own series have really come together to help raise money for you as well.
It's amazing. It's like we have multiple broadcasters out there, and we're all have our little competing thing in between us. But when I put the news up, the team had known for about a month that I'd been diagnosed with cancer. They didn't know how bad. But when I made the post, it was amazing with people like you, Rachel, the entire RaceBot team, and then the entire iRacing community. I honestly, I can't tell people enough how much the community has meant. I had no idea the impact as broadcasters we had, or anything like that.
Now, of course, the LSR TV brand lives on. You got yourself and Francisco, you got yourself Evan, et al, all working on that brand. Of course, you're hoping to get yourself back into broadcasting at some point in the future, but your brand at LSR TV is still remains strong. You've got yourself some great series going on right now.
We got unbelievable series. I think we're broadcasting 6 different series now. The team over at LSR TV has come together. We transferred a lot of things over. Some new operators in control of the things. I've kind of stepped away during the treatment because it's I don't want to bring anybody down, but the treatment is not easy, what it does to you physically and mentally. But the crew over there has just been amazing. They got past the ball under extraneous conditions, and they've done an amazing job with it under the conditions they had.
Well, of course, we are looking right now at your top 8 on your field here. The field is a little bit spread out, but before we step aside for one moment, Laura, the chance is yours now to talk to any new fans, any of your supporters, and give a shout out to them.
Actually, I just want to thank everybody who watches all the broadcasts, RaceSpot, MaxSpeed TV, LSR TV. The fans watching is what keeps us going. We do this a lot more for the community than we do for a lot of other reasons. We're trying to, all of us, we're trying to get exposure out there to build something that's not easy to do. So, when it comes down to it, it's the community that supports us, that when we see their excitement and their feedback, it drives all of us to do better and bring new things to the market that make simulation more along the lines of the realistic, feel and energy.
And finally, before we go, Laura, where can people give money to you right now?
If they want to donate some money, we use, like I said, we use the money to help pay for some of the bills. They put out information out there on the GoFund. You can read me that. We were granted grants to help offset some of the bills. But if you would like to donate, you can go to, give me 1 second. You can go to GoFundMe.com/3JM8TRP5. That's 3JM8TRP5. And like I said, anything we have left over at the end of the treatment, we're going to be donating that to the there's chemo effects. Children's cancer funds here at the local hospital.
Fantastic, and of course, it's worth noting, by the way, of course, that iRacing themselves supports the American Cancer Foundation, and some fantastic organisations, and that's fantastic work happening on all sides of the pond here. Go on.
Oh, well, I just want to say something real fast. Before I go anywhere, I'll try to get back one more time. But guess what?
What?
Race car! Race car!
You know they're one of the only people are allowed to get away with saying that.
Okay, I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
See you in a bit. Thank you so much. Aaron, as it stands right now, we're having a look at Bradley Walters. He was close behind Laura Lawson, but now the gap is up to 8 tenths of a second.
And this is where the in-car adjustments, Walters, he is looking forward to next week right now. Those adjustments, you can sort of cope with the dirty air a little bit more with a fixed setup. Can you make passes? Absolutely. In fact, it might be a little bit more difficult to make passes in a fixed setup because you can't rely, as Rachel said, it's more going back to the yesteryear when the car wasn't a rolling computer with all sorts of gadgets and gizmos that you could adjust. So you have to time it. You have to work the air. You have to run where they aren't, which at Indy can be difficult. And as this run progresses, the marbles on the outside will progress just like that. So we'll have to see if he closes. I think if Walters can eventually get around Norton in the pit cycle, he may just have something for Trano, which is saying something because right now Trano is almost 2 tenths faster on the racetrack than any other driver.
We've actually got Cisco there looking to come and join us here. There he is. We're going to talk to him in about 5 seconds from now. Hey Cisco, how's it going, buddy?
Hey Will, we're on the game PC right now because apparently I can't connect with the normal PC, but I'm just so happy for you guys putting this on. This is such a great event. Thank you so much.
No worries, we're about 49 laps. We're about 1/4 into this motor race, and well, yeah, the field has separated itself out a little bit, but still, it's a great race, a great cause, and of course, this whole iRace4Laura sort of thing really has kicked off over the last 3 months or so.
Yeah, absolutely. The community's just been amazing. The support, I mean, we were stunned just the first night when we set everything up, just stunned how much support we've had, and Laura's the strongest person I know, and she's already beaten this way more than I think a lot of people could, and she's just awesome.
Now, you're one of the people that work for LSR TV on a regular basis. Of course, you do a lot of the streaming, a lot of commentary. In fact, you occasionally even come and work for the dark side over at RaceSpot. But how has it been, the emotions over the past couple of months in keeping that brand alive? Because I always say, hey, we like competition, and that's the thing. Competition is always good, and that's our as an Irish community. We are one family, but we like fighting with each other in our own way.
Yeah, absolutely, and it has been hard, and I mean, I've had to take on a whole lot more responsibility than I thought I was coming into this. I mean, originally I was just going to be the producer, for a second channel, kind of a different sort of like a different style. I didn't have all the equipment that she did, and then after all this, I basically had to ask my roommate back in January to say, hey, can I actually bring all this stuff in? Are you going to be okay with this? And it actually ended up having me actually have to drive about an hour or so, or no, actually do the 3-hour drive back to Chicago just to buy a desk that could fit the room so that we could fit all the equipment on one desk because I didn't have it. So I mean, it's been an adventure. I've met some great people doing it, but Laura's always going to be the main producer, so I can't wait for her to get back. And 6 nights a week's not fun, so I can't wait for you to get back, Laura, and keep doing it. So hopefully we can split up some of the work now.
I'll tell you one thing.
Will,
Dom?
let me jump in real fast. I just want to publicly, I haven't gotten a chance to actually tell Cisco, thanks for doing such a wonderful job and taking over the responsibilities. Not many people know how much work goes on the backgrounds. People like Will, Rachel, and all them, they know. But the amount of workload and everything you've done, you've really impressed me, and I'm really thankful. And so I'm sure the rest of the team is really thankful, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have been able to carry on.
And Laura, you actually don't know this yet, but we fixed the internet drops that we've been having. I finally, I don't know what it was, but in the move back, plus we reinstalled Windows 10, and we'd been having this weird problem where my internet would drop randomly every 2.5 hours, which meant I usually had to time it with a broadcast, unplug the Ethernet cord, to just hope the internet made it through. But we actually fixed it, so
Good job.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Will.
Yep.
Race car!
I'll let you off just this once. As we've been talking, Aaron, we've had cars on pit road. Pretty much most people have had on their second pit stop of the day. 53 of 200 laps scored complete.
Yeah, and Walter's currently our race leader. Trano second, Norton third, as now we are going to be cycling back through. So Trano back to the lead. So we are in the midst of pit stops, and this is going to be the point where, well, this is where Walter's needed to get around Norton, but now that gap's 3.3 seconds between second and third, which Norton traditionally very well at getting in and off pit road. And on this cycle, it showed, and Norton actually cut the lead from 3 seconds to 2 seconds. So he did gain a second on our race leader.
Yeah, indeed. So that's top 8, then bottom of your race screen. Rachel, I'm gonna do something I don't often do. I'm gonna break the fourth wall. Are you ready?
Really ready, Will?
Yeah. And that's one of the things about here on iRacing. I mean, we've got about 6 main broadcasters right now. Of course, we've got ourselves. We've got Glacier TV, we've got ourselves LSR TV, we've got ourselves Hug TV, we've got ourselves the Global Sim Racing Channel, LSR TV, we've got about 4 or 5 that I actually can't remember off the top of my head right now. Aussie's online, Viet's online, we've got ourselves so many. And that's the thing, like, you know, we do broadcasting, yeah, people think that we are all in competition with that, but we're not. A lot of the times we actually do one thing, we do sim racing broadcasts, because we all know really well the fact that we're not like certain other online platforms. We are a small, minor community, but we're growing and can only do it together.
Yeah, we certainly are, and every one of these broadcasters is playing an integral role within sim racing here. Of course, the drivers are important, the crew chiefs, the spotters are all important. They make the races happen. You know what? We're all motorsports fans. We're all racing fans. And every single broadcaster out there, be it RaceSpot, be it LSR, be it GSRC, be it anybody, we are all in it for you, the fans, to bring you the experience and share our passion with you.
Well, you know, Rachel, honestly, it's the passion of people like Will, you, Cisco, Evan Pasoko, you know, it's the, you know, you talk about the competition, and, you know, it's just like, you know, with Evan, you know, working with you guys, the competition's good because it helps drive each and every one of us to bring something new. And then when we see one person doing something new, you know, some of us will try to find a way to replicate it with our own twist to it, or, you know, go a different direction and bring something else new and expand it. And if you go back just 3 years ago and you watch the broadcast, the amount of realism that's been injected into the coverage is top notch. I mean, we're coming so close with such little equipment to replicating what you see on TV that it's actually pretty amazing.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you, Laura. I remember the day that we kind of stole Evan for the NASCAR Peak Anniversary Series broadcast. And I'll tell you one thing as well. Evan is one of the best commentators I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, you can't have him back.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, we need him. Well, okay.
Yeah, don't blow his head up too big.
Yeah,
but that's the
better
thing as well.
not steal him. But
That's
I guess you're stealing me too now, apparently. So
he already looks like those kids from race car.
I like.
From
well, Laura, do you know that I've gone to the dark side for Sundays now?
You'll have to tell me about that later.
I like. But that's the thing.
I think you might be getting a seat. Race car. Chemo. Anyway, we're having way too much fun in here.
We are indeed. It's lap number 59 or 200 here on RaceSpot TV. Streaming live, of course, on iRacing Live. With Brandon Trainer leads this motor race from Ryan Norton by 2.2 seconds. We'll step aside for a moment. We'll be back with more after these messages. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 67 of 200 laps scored complete here. 9 drivers still on the lead lap here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And we've got ourselves Aaron Likens. We've got ourselves Rachel Wyford. We've got ourselves Christopher Demerit. We've got ourselves Laura Lawson. And we've got ourselves Just Go. And also, guess what, Rachel? We've got ourselves Cameron Walsh here right now.
We do. We have a live, unedited Cam Walsh. Do we?
Do we? No, he's gone.
No, I didn't think we had a Cam Walsh. I thought we had a Chris Steele.
We did
we
for like 2 seconds.
We don't have a Cam
He
Walsh.
left. He didn't want us anymore.
No, he never came here. We've got a Christian Steele though.
Get a Cam
You're going
Walsh.
mad in your old age, Will.
Okay. Whatever. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I'm not doing very good. I pretty much just lost out on that race in the most embarrassing way possible.
Well, because it was embarrassing. Talk us through it.
Okay, so I was pitting and I ran out of fuel on my box and I went too far forward. And that was my race. Because Sim won't let you push, they won't push your car back, so I'm done now.
So, essentially you're saying that you wish you were 100 Penske right now to just push your car back 50 meters.
Yeah.
Okay. But still, we've got a race going on. Who do you think is going to win?
I'm going to go with Bradley Walters on this one.
Okay. Let's talk about next weekend. Who's going to win next weekend?
Next weekend, I think it's going to go down to Brandon Trano, Josh Chin, or Nigel Marneef.
Well, on board right now are Niall McBride. And, well, Rachel, we talked about this off air. We're just going to talk stuff for the next 130 laps of this race. But this is Indy, and we love Indy, don't we?
Absolutely. This has essentially become the race. This has turned into the Race Sport TV will do a charity event for Laura Lawson. We'll talk about some IndyCar.
Sorry to cut in.
And
We
use it as
just
a
lost
background.
Randy Krosno. Randy Krosno just hit the wall off a turn 2, almost brought out the yellow, so he was running almost faster than our leader, mirroring the lap times, but Krosno's bad luck continues. He's going to be out of this race.
Can I just ask you a question?
Big
How
incident.
many times has Randy Krosno had bad luck at Indy?
Okay, Randy Krosno for the past, as long as I've been doing 16th Street with you, well, so 2011, if there is an incident on track, odds are Randy Krosno is somewhere near it. He has had the worst luck continuous for 4 to 5 years now. A very competitive driver, a race-winning driver, but he gets... Today, it was his fault, but most of the time, happened to him in the iAdvance Indy Elite Series 2 Sundays ago at New Hampshire, got caught up in somebody else's mess. He cannot buy any luck at all.
Indeed so, and of course they say the track has a say in who wins the motor race, Rachel. Krosno, no luck here today.
Yeah, Indy certainly has a say in who wins the motor race, and for Randy, it seems to be the case that he must have done something in a previous life to annoy the track, because he does not get on with his pace at all. I don't think I've ever seen him finish a race here at Indy, not intact at least. It's terrible luck for him. Of course, there will be another chance in a week's time for him to go and try this one again, but he's going to have to get there first. And his teammates, of course, are going to bring a very good car next week, so expect to see them all in that top split broadcast. It's going to be awesome.
It's that ironic thing that I'm the honorary team manager of that series, and I have no idea how well that team is going to do. But Randy Krosno, of course, he is the founder of iRace Racing. He has been racing on iRacing for as long as I know. He's a 5-star member, but he's never had luck at the big track itself. And well, he's not the only one actually, when you think about Aaron. People like John Payton, for example, he's never had luck at Indy either.
I think it was last year, Paquin started on pole for the official Indy 500, had about a 3-second lead, which we went green the first 30 or so laps and just misjudged a lapper in turn 1, and really before his race even could get started, he was out. This track, you type Nigel Marneef won. He won, was it last year, Will, that he took the win?
Yeah, 2014 is what I remember.
Yeah, we didn't talk about his name till he really took the lead in the last 20 or so laps. So this race, for it, I believe there's never been a repeat winner, and that shows just how difficult it is to win. For the other races, we have had repeat winners in 16th Street and the various other leagues that have been ran, but when it comes to next Saturday, that might be, well, for all the IndyCar drivers, just making the top split is an achievement, which means all the starters have a chance to win it, but to get to the end, you truly have to put together 800 perfect laps, one mistake, and there goes your chance.
Well, there's a replay then of Randy Crosno hitting the wall. 75 of 200 laps scored complete right now, and Crosno is out of the motor race. And well, demerit. I know the heartbreak. You know the heartbreak. It is a heartbreak, really, isn't it? He's not here. Rachel, go ahead. Aaron, someone talk to me.
I guess a heartbreak is just so much that they can't talk about it.
Well,
I mean,
Laura and I are here still, so you can rely on us if you need to, Will.
Okay.
We're taking over.
I believe in you. I believe in you.
The invasion.
What is this,
LSRTV
WWF
is
2001?
war or something like that. I don't know.
Well, here's your race leader then. It is the number 9 machine of Brandon Traino. 3.2 seconds, so Aaron ahead of Ryan Norton. And well, Traino, we know he is fast. We expect him here, of course, in a week's time, because Traino is one of those drivers that has won a big race, Indy 500 victory before. He's not on the big one, though.
And it's that big one. You wait. These drivers wait all year as this lap, well, Ryan Norton just about threw his race in turn 2, four-wheel drifting it as that car got loose on entry. So we just about had our second place driver out of this race. We are late in the run. The track is getting greasy. That may have been Crosno's demise, getting just a little bit wide. So this track, Indy can be temperamental, and she is getting very much so right now. But when it comes to the big one, next Saturday, these drivers' teams, you can win all the leagues. You can dominate a league, win all the races, all 16 weeks of a race, win that league's Indy 500. But everything doesn't matter. Your resume is not complete till you can say you've won next Saturday. Only, what, 6, 7 drivers have done so? So that is a very elite crowd. Will we have our first repeat winner?
It's an
or
elite
will
club
somebody new
that
make
even
it?
get into the motor race. That's the issue. I did it once and I sucked.
And the pressure when you have it, I mean, it is our Super Bowl, it is our pinnacle next Saturday, and to be in that top split is an achievement, but within itself. But as you said earlier, if you make the top split, nobody cares but that driver, maybe your team. If you finish second in that race, guess what? You were one position away from achieving every IndyCar driver's dream. And we'll probably have some crossover drivers as well that we might not typically see in the IndyCar, because that's what this race means. If you can pull this race off, that's something that you're going to put on every profile, Twitter. You are going to say you won the iRacing Indy 500, and for everyone else, it's 365 days till their next opportunity, even if you make the top split.
That's the thing, as we've got a replay for nothing for some reason. Let's go back to live coverage. Oops, sorry, we messed up. But here's the thing though, Aaron, is that we get people like our father end up in the iRacing Indy 500. They do it 3 times right now. But still, the biggest thing is going to be, we've got a car on towards pit road. In fact, we've got many cars on towards pit road right now. Greenfly pit stop underway. Once again, took me through it.
Yep, Traino is our first car in, 3.5 second lead. Last time in the pits, he actually lost a second and a half to our race leader. Very, well, I think that was a picture-perfect pit entry, 60 miles an hour right at the cones. He is in his box, and this is, I think, and actually Traino came very close to hitting the inside pit wall as he got into his box. trying to get an absolute perfect entry. The better you are in the box, the better the crew can get the tires on and off. But if Norton wants a chance at this race, he is going to have to gain, over the course of this run, 3 seconds in, which we do have Norton and Walters. And Walters, last time under green flag stop, the big loser on stops, losing 3 seconds. So we'll see if he can get it just a little bit more tidy this go-round.
Well, we're going to step aside for just one moment, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with more after these messages. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where for the next bit of time we're going to show you onboards, live moments and excitement here from IMS. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's lap number 98 of 200 here. And the trainer leads by Ray Norton. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, we have to say goodbye to our coverage. We might have something for you shortly, but we'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye.